Good afternoon, everyone. It's Rod with Power Group. It's Wednesday, November 30th, last day of the month. Going to get started with the before market close update. And if anybody does have any ticker requests, just be sure to let me know. I was out yesterday and the day before that, but back at it. We'll continue to do the before market close market updates for the rest of the week. And jumping into the markets, so we're starting to see some recovery in the crypto space, and we're starting to see some further upside continuation in the broader market, the S&P 500. As I've been saying, there was a daily bull flag on the S&P that was targeting 417, and we're breaking to a higher high here today and this week, and we're getting close to 406. So at this point, we're not too far away from my daily bull flag target of 417, which is about just under 3% away. But at the moment, Bitcoin is still weak and the crypto space at large. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin here on the daily time frame. We were daily bear flag. As long as we remain below 17,832, it's still a potential flag, and we could potentially see another leg down. That target as well is targeting about 13,000, and we did have a daily descending triangle that we were watching here, but so far, we're breaking out of that daily descending triangle and we're negating that. But like I said, that daily bear flag still remains as long as we remain under 17,832. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross here on the daily time frame, with the EMA set to see a potential bullish cross. But we are confirming a daily uptrend here with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So we are seeing some signs of strength. And if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, the weekly bounce is underway. But now, at the moment, it's just a weekly bear flag. So if we just draw it from the high to the low, that would put us right around that 17,600, 17,800 level. And if we just take a measured move of that, it's likely going to bring us right down to around that 13K. So yep, put us right about 13K. So Bitcoin trying to catch up to the rest of the broader market. The broader market has been outperforming Bitcoin, so we'll see if Bitcoin can play catch up. SPY just broke 406. Let's take a look at our movers and shakers today on the crypto front. So we have Code, SGB, and Riot leading the bull list today. And on the bear list, we have HNT, HP, Cell, and Hex. So SPY breaking above 406. We're 2.5% away from my daily bull flag target of 417. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame today, we're breaking to a weekly higher high. So we have no weekly support down to 368.79. And we haven't started weekly consolidation in about a month. But we could still see EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. We know that we have no weekly resistance until 410.05. So the fact that we do have that key resistance there, and then after 410, we have nothing to 429.96. What I think we could do is bump our head around that 410.05. Likely won't hit our daily bull flag target of 417 right away. I think that the most likely scenario is either this week or next week. We reject from 410, maybe 412, get a little bit of upside, and then we come down, form a weekly higher low somewhere around 390. But we know we have no weekly consolidation now for about a month and no support all the way down to 368.79 on the weekly time frame. So we could easily drop almost 10% on the S&P 500 and still be in a weekly uptrend. So just something to be aware of. DXY starting weekly consolidation. So again, the inverse. So potentially heading to weekly oversold. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well, which would mean further downside from here, but key support there at 105.34. We hit 105.32, so far it's been basically a double bottom. We had 104.63 before that, so after 105.32, we have 104.63. After 104.63, we have a lack of support down to 101. And if we get somewhere around 100 or a flush thereof, that would likely put us at weekly oversold, and then at that point, we would likely be due for at least a temporary bounce and cool off on the DXY. Silver continues to be strong, seeing a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, giving us a little bit of a clue that we could potentially see that happen in regards to the broader market as well. SPY very close to seeing its weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. Gold still yet to see its bull cross. It's a weekly bull flag as well. And nice triple bottom there off of gold So very very interesting to see that all these confluences are popping up. But gold starting the weekly bounce a little bit weaker than silver. Silver has been standing out, has stronger of the two, with a clear weekly uptrend with a low high, higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high, higher low, bull flag, and now we're looking to see that higher high. So if we can get over 22.24, then we continue the weekly higher low and higher high pattern, and we have nothing after that until about 26.22. So Tesla's a daily uptrend that's confirming, and also a daily bull flag that's confirming with a target of about 203. And then if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, we should be bouncing on the weekly. Yes, we are, breaking last week's high. This is the last day of the month, as I mentioned earlier. So if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, the monthly bounce is underway. Something you have to be concerned about is the fact that the .com fractal is saying that we could potentially be setting a top anytime now. So it doesn't mean that we have to follow this verbatim. We could deviate from it and then ultimately come back and, based on how manipulated the market is, this is the .com fractal from the .com bubble right here. And this is the closest thing we have to the everything bubble. But essentially, back then, we didn't have all the money printing going on. We didn't have rising inflation. We didn't have a war going on at the time. So there's some slight differences, in my opinion, that we'll see. But overall, I think we should trend quite nicely with this fractal over the next year or so. But don't be surprised if we do see a little bit of a deviation. I think that we could see that. We know that the Fed's hinted today that we could see smaller rate hikes in December. And if you've been following me for a while now, that's basically what I've been saying, is that we could see the Fed start to turn a little bit of, they could pivot, turn dovish. We could even be seeing a monthly inverse head and shoulders here with the left shoulder, head, and then a potential right shoulder. So we'll be watching for rejection here. And if we do start monthly consolidation next month, we'll watch for a potential inverse head and shoulders. And if we take the measured move of the head and shoulders, just a quick measured move here, that would put us to a blow off top potentially and a new all-time high around 485, 486. But a little early to be calling an inverse head and shoulders. We still haven't even formed a right shoulder yet, but that's just something that I'm looking out for. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well here, which hasn't happened on the S&P 500 since the 2008 financial crisis. And the last time we had a bear cross of those EMAs, we dropped 50%. So if we do see these EMAs cross bearish, we could see a drop. Let's say we drop 50%. That would put us down around 180 to 190 on the S&P 500, which again lines up with the .com fractal and a Great Depression type of market pullback, right? So we just need to be prepared for that, because when you have 10 years worth of gains in 2 years, 125% worth of gains on the S&P 500 in 2 years, when it's accustomed to 12% a year, you need to expect a ton of downside. And even Robert Kiyosaki's been saying, I think to quote him exactly, he said, "God have mercy on us all." So again, not to come on here and put ice water in your veins for, lack of better words, but, I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just, we have to come to terms with reality. When you have this much of a bull move and a bull market in such a short period of time, we need to expect a similar move on the way down, because what goes up must come down. It's just the way the market works, right? The more gains that these institutions and hedge funds and Wall Street, players, the more gains that they have, they're going to short, and they're going to do the opposite. They're going to make a ton of money on the way up. They're going to get retail to FOMO in by the top, and then they're going to make it painful on the way down, right? They're going to make it super euphoric on the way up, where people just, they turn bullish, forever bullish, right? And then once they go the other way, they go short, and then they give us a whole couple years of pain, probably, right? Like a long time of pain. And that's just how the markets work, right? We're confirming monthly downtrends, first time since 2008. We haven't seen the monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross yet. So again, just as long as we prepare, have a hedge position, SPXS is what I'm using. You can use regular short shares on the S&P 500. You can just hold cash. Cash is a position as well. So you can look to reload cheaper. I took all of my mutual funds and put them into money market, which is essentially a very, very low risk So again, that's just how I'm protecting. I also got out of the real estate market in markets where, it was super inflated and overpriced, in my opinion, overvalued. And I got into areas where I think it was super undervalued and, not a whole lot to really buy a property here in Edmonton, especially in a condo market. So it's very, very low risk, right? So again, just all these precautionary things that we can do to prepare for the worst, because this is the end of the month. We are potentially set to close at the high of the monthly candles. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see another monthly higher high next month, because we have no monthly resistance till 429.96. If we break 429.96, we're no longer in a monthly downtrend next month. So again, we'll be watching for a potential inverse head and shoulders if we do start monthly consolidation next month. If not, we'll be watching for 429.96 as the next potential stop. After that, nothing till 458.20. But that's going to be key resistance, 429.96 on the monthly time frame. If we break that, we're no longer in a monthly downtrend. But can't lose sight of the fact that we have tons of confluence saying that we're potentially heading to another leg down with that monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross looming over our heads. So Tesla on the monthly time frame, trying to form a bit of a lower wick, still in a monthly downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, set for a potential monthly inside bar to occur tomorrow in a tightening range, but could be heading to monthly oversold as well. We had tons of indicators here showing to be cautious, right? We had higher lows and higher highs, and then hidden bearish RSI divergence on the monthly time frame with lower highs and lower lows. Eventually, the price caught up to that relative strength index. In terms of individual tickers on the day today, NEO seeing a massive move today, over 20%. JMIA, BYND leading the bull list. On the bear list today, we have MVMD, SIRC, and VERY. And again, SIRC, this is just another name why I cautioned on this one. We went from 11 cents all the way up to 61 cents, and here we are down at 13 cents, right? What goes up must come down, and when we had no support, we know that we need to expect more downside, right? And quite a bit of downside at that. CGC, weekly consolidation underway for the second week in a row. After having lost last week's low at 337, we had 334. Next support on deck is 298. As long as 298 holds, we're still in a weekly uptrend. We have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So key support on CGC is going to be 298 USD. As long as that holds, we remain in a weekly uptrend. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the weekly time frame, just like the S&P 500. Very correlated at the moment, but definitely a little bit stronger in my opinion, as we look to potential reform, safe banking, and potential rescheduling in the U.S. PWR, Love, NXTTF leading the bull. Actually, no, that wasn't sorted properly. Let's go through that again. PWR, Love with a nice move today as well. I said anything under 10 cents was a snag. We hit 9.5 cents, and from there we jumped almost 40%. DB and CGC followed by Sundial. On the bear list today, we have PCLO, IMCC, and XTRX. And I did a post on OGI. Maybe I'll do a video on this one a little bit later on today. But, people were... Another casing point as to why fundamentals don't matter yet, right? Because the whole sector, we're waiting for the whole sector to move. Once the whole sector moves, and once we confirm monthly and weekly uptrends across the whole sector, we're no longer in a bear market. We're starting a new bull market, which we'll know by monthly uptrends across the sector. Then we'll give more attention and weight to individual earning reports and fundamentals. But as of right now, the market just doesn't care. Case in point, OGI had fantastic fundamentals and earnings yesterday. Price went up about 6%. Then we closed at the low of the day. Bearish reversal candle. We did hold the low of yesterday, but it's a daily inside bar at the moment. And then we ended up closing at the low of the day only about 1% higher than the previous day, right? So fundamentals do not matter yet, but I do think that once the sector reverses in 2023, potentially, and we get safe banking, rescheduling, we get the whole sector, monthly uptrends, and then OGI and a lot of other LPs could potentially change things around, then they could turn a profit. And I think a lot of names are probably not going to turn a profit for LPs, licensed producers in Canada, until 2024, 2025. Like CGC, I don't think is going to do it before 2025. But if it does, then great. We'll see. A lot of that's going to be riding on U.S. legalization reform. But, we know that Tilray's one of the leaders. We know OGI could potentially do it in the back half, maybe even midway through 2023. Hexo's well underway. They said within 4 quarters when the Tilray deal was done, so that would put us somewhere around, mid 2023 to late 2023. BFF, all these names we're starting to see, and like the management has been saying at a lot of these different LPs, the days of unprofitable LPs are numbered. But OGI, like I said, great numbers yesterday, beat on EPS, beat on revenues, but again, just not, we just haven't confirmed monthly uptrends across the sector yet. So fundamentals do not matter yet, but eventually they will. And we'll start to see them catch up and play more of a role. Weekly consolidation underway on last week on MSOS, but now it's a weekly inside bar, so we have resistance at 12.18 and support at 11.15. If we lose 11.15, we continue weekly consolidation for the second week in a row. If we break resistance at 12.18, then we start the weekly bounce. And then next resistance is 12.41 and then 13.13. LOWL, MMEN, and BAM leading the bear list today. BAM had some news that their earnings are going to be delayed until December 8th. Halo, GRWG, and BEV leading the bull list today. CGC, we are seeing a bear cross on the stochastic here on the weekly time frame, but MACD, and we're still above the 10-week moving average, and the MACD still bullish, so not going to have too much concerns over that. Still looking pretty good in terms of the weekly time frame. In terms of the weekly moving averages, we've still yet to test 502, which is the 50 weekly. We can close a candle above 502 on the weekly time frame. We have nothing nearby until 1395 and 1983. In terms of the daily time frame, we're getting close to seeing a golden cross. Look what happened when we had the death cross, the 50 above the 200-day moving average. 50 came down through the 200. When the shorter term moving average is above the longer term, that's called a bear cross. And then when it's in a daily time frame, it's called a death cross. We had the kiss of death. We had the death cross. And from there, price went from $26 all the way down to $2. Now we're seeing the shorter term moving average below the longer term. The 50 coming up through the 100. We're seeing a bull cross of the 50 and the 100-day moving average. Now we're waiting for that 50 and the 200-day moving average cross, which would be referred to as a golden cross. And if that happens, that'll be the first time we've seen a golden cross since the bear cross back in June and summer of 2021. And if we do see that golden cross, I could easily see a move up to around $10 to $13 on CGC. And that would obviously be accompanied with some sort of safe banking or rescheduling news, some sort of U.S. reform, in my opinion. We know that Germany and New York said to come in line in 2023. I do think that 2023 is going to be the year of MJ, and more than likely going to see the spotlight shine on MJ while tech and a lot of our other sectors continue to consolidate for a prolonged period of time, in my opinion. News just came out here as well that BlackRock chief executive Larry Fink said firm invested $24 million into FTX before the collapse. And we know BlackRock is making big moves into the crypto space. But I'm still very bullish on the altcoin market. I've been accumulating altcoins. I did move the rest of my, I've been buying Filecoin and HBAR on Binance. So I did move about 90% of what I had on exchanges to my hardware wallet. So now I'm pretty much 90 to 95% of my investments for crypto is on my Ledger hardware wallet. I've only got about 5 to 10% on the exchange. Not saying Binance is going to go under or anything like that, but we just don't know. And it did have a lot of connections to FTX, and a lot of people are criticizing their proof of reserves, saying that that's just not adequate, and it's kind of a joke. So we'll see. There's a lot of contagion that's spreading, and it's possible that it's not over yet. But I'm just remaining super cautious. And like I said, Binance, I don't think they're going to have any issues, but you can never be too safe, right? So rather be safe than sorry. But in terms of my crypto holdings, my biggest bag right now is XRP, XLM, Litecoin, Algo, Filecoin, and then HBAR. Actually, I think Link is. I think I added to my Link position, so I think Link is pretty much right there with HBAR and Filecoin, around the same amount of dollar value. Actually, I might have more in Link now after that last purchase. So it should go XRP, XLM, Litecoin, Algo, Link, Filecoin, HBAR. But SPY gaining a little bit more momentum, trying to close at the high of the monthly candle. In terms of the daily time frame, we're going to set to close potentially at the high of the daily candle. And like I said, no resistance till 410. So I could easily see 410, 412 tomorrow, and then come down and see some weakness into Friday or the beginning of next week, potentially. But it is a daily bull flag targeting 417. It's just hard to imagine we're going to go straight there with that key 410 daily and weekly resistance. That's a weekly and daily resistance level. So I could potentially see a move to around 410, maybe 412. And then we top out there, we bump our head, come down, look for another potential higher low and consolidation as we gear up for another potential higher high around 417. But like I said, I've been expecting the Feds to potentially turn dovish into December. Instead of a 75 basis point hike, maybe we see 50 or 25, slight pivot, and then markets rally into the end of the year. And that's what I've been looking for based on the dollar weakness as well. Dollar is still extremely weak, and then even dollar on the monthly time frame now coming out of monthly overbought territory. That's something that I mentioned as well. But I do think that we could potentially come back to around 104 to potentially 100 on this monthly consolidation, as we had no support all the way down to 94.62, right? What goes up must come down. You have no support. Huge bull move, usually a huge bear move follows that. But nice move here into the end of the day for the S&P 500. Getting extremely close to that 410 resistance. I'm going to start wrapping it up. Not seeing any other news in the Pow Group private community to go over at the moment. So hope everyone has a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow for another market update and before market close video. But all signs looking like we could potentially see even more upside into the end of the year here. And we know that when everybody thinks that we're going to see another leg down, the bottom could be close. Not saying that we're not going to see another leg down on the S&P 500. We could potentially follow that dot-com fractal here. We could be topping out any time as per this dot-com fractal. But again, wouldn't be surprised if we did deviate from this a little bit because of how manipulated the markets are, the printing of trillions of dollars, all the geopolitical things that are at play at the moment. We know Congress still hasn't sold hasn't been banned from owning stocks yet, so that could be a top indicator. And Bitcoin still weekly bear flag, so it's targeting about $13,000. So not ruling out one more potential leg down, but now is as good a time as any, in my opinion, to be accumulating for one more final push in the markets. And then I do think that any major bull market or bull move in crypto and in the S&P 500 into the end of the year or into beginning of 2023, I think that's going to be an opportunity to sell and then go short and then look for a pretty brutal 2023 and end to 2023. All right, going to end it there. Hope everyone has a great night. We'll see everybody in the chat room in a few minutes. And like I said, we'll do another market update tomorrow before market close. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.